Let me first ask, how you recognize this problem and what kind of ideas you have to try and change it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. We recognize this problem many years ago. Of course, obesity and diabetes has been a real disaster for America, especially in lower income communities, as you mentioned, those food deserts where you don't have access to healthy, affordable food. But in COVID, those were the people who were most susceptible. And so anyone who had a comorbidity with diabetes had a much higher rate of fatality than others. I mean, it was a cruel part of the COVID epidemic that we faced in America this past year, and the rest of the world is facing it, because we're hopefully getting out of the woods here, but the rest of the world is going to face this. And anyone who has unfortunately got only access to fast food, high calorie, low nutrition food that causes obesity and diabetes is really going to suffer the hardest through this pandemic. And so what we created this last year in partnership with some nonprofits. We started giving away gardens to families in these low-income communities. These are 12 inches wide, 12 inches deep, small gardens. This spring we did potatoes, where they're seeded, and within a couple of months you'll literally be digging for potatoes like you dig for gold. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to connect your kids to food. Eat your own food, and you can actually grow a lot of food. And in partnership with Modern Farmer, which is now a nonprofit, the magazine has become a nonprofit. Frank Giustra, Harrison Ford, Selma Hayek, these amazing celebrities, Zooey Deschanel, Eve the rapper, Jonathan Scott in Canada, a wonderful group of people that have come together to promote this idea of getting gardens into homes in low-income communities. People can donate by donating $10 and help support this at milliongardensmovement.org. And we really want corporations to participate. We want companies who feel like this is a part of their mission to go to milliongardensmovement.org and help support the movement.
And one thing that comes to my mind, Kimbal, is it's such a great idea, and obviously you've been passionate about this for a long time. Does it get at that inequity we were talking about? And the reason that I ask that is I think gardening as something that takes a lot of time, which is not something that poorer households have much of. So how do we square those two factors? It's a real kind of commitment of time and energy for people that may not have it.
Well, we've actually found that lower income families are very excited to garden. We've been working in South Chicago, South Memphis, parts of the lower income parts of Denver, LA, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. We've been deeply in these communities for years, and when we announced we call them the little green gardens. We're going to try and get millions of these out there. We announced them to our communities. We did a test in Chicago. We did a test in Memphis. We did it with 5,000 gardens in Chicago and 1,500 in Memphis. We had them in a socially distant way lined up around blocks to get them. So they found the time, because gardening at home is not just about food. It's about mental health. It's about connecting with your kids. It's a beautiful way to spend your time. And it's actually not that much time. Once you get over that intimidation factor, and frankly, there are times when things don't go well. You really do have to look after your garden, but it's not a time thing. It's more about that sort of mental and frankly therapeutic commitment to, I'm going to look after my garden, and if I look after it, it's going to thrive.
Yep. Kimbal, we'll direct people also to your website, which is biggreen.org. I think it's a really fascinating initiative and could be, helpful really to the progress of the country, because if you feed people well, they grow into better people. I want to ask you about Tesla. You've been on the board of Tesla since the get-go, and we've been talking a lot about the valuation. It's a car company worth $600 billion. Now, I realize you're doing a lot of other things as well, including home batteries, including solar roof panels, charging. What do you think makes Tesla worth $600 billion, though, as essentially a winner in the EV area?
Well, I can't really speak to the value of the company. As you know, I'm on the board. I can say that I'm really excited about the future of Tesla, and it does include energy. It includes, frankly, I actually don't know the exact numbers about energy, so don't quote me on this, but it's going to be one of the biggest industries. It probably is one of the biggest industries in the world, if not the biggest. And really, that Tesla is about alternative energy. It's an energy company, and obviously we're really good at product, we're really good at technology, and we're good at making cars. But it's the future of Tesla is very bright. I do not want to speak to the valuation. We'll leave that up to the stock traders.